Yep, I just tweeted it saying there's an error. Guess we're not live on Twitter. I didn't even know this went live on Twitter. But we're live on WB. What is it? WBRN is the short code.
WBRN, The Brain, 103.6, coming at you at 8 a.m. Eastern Time on a Thursday. We got overcast clouds, partially rainy. A little chilly here on the East Coast.
Here too. It's like this whole week is just rain.
Did you tweet it?
I tweeted it. I said we're live for the first word.
Oh my God.
What happened?
I missed that basketball game last night, which was apparently amazing.
Yeah, I don't watch basketball, but it was a good one.
I heard. I watched just about every freaking playoff game there was because I was just out of sheer boredom. But
we got Meet Me at the Creek in the chat. Ajman in the chat saying beautiful day in Western New York. It is not a beautiful day in Western New York, but that's what we do the show for, to provide some entertainment for your morning drive as you're getting going, as you're watching Knicks highlights like Willie is. He looks very perplexed right now, so for the viewers who are hopping in here and for the audio that's going up later, we just went live, and Willie's trying to come up with something witty to tweet out the link with.
We're live on 103.6 The Brain on a fine Thursday morning here in May. We got junior trials coming up.
Junior trials next weekend's a big one. I'm excited to kind of dive into that. We'll talk about who's sitting the finals, who could challenge those finalists. I'm curious. I don't really want to do picks for the World Team Trials. I feel like those that are sitting out in the finals are heavy favorites, but there are some extremely competitive weights and brackets.
You know what? I haven't even looked at the entries yet, which is bad radio, but I will right now because they're on your site.
Or, yeah, you can go to rockfin.com. I just posted them so that people who are listening can tune in.
Junior World Team Trials are so awesome, and Junior Worlds are so awesome. I mean, the best. They are who is going to be college stars, and the trials are who is going to be college stars, and they are, and Junior Worlds is who is going to be the largely the Olympic and world representatives from the United States and from every other country.
Yeah. Do you want to start with Junior World Team Trials,
No,
or
let's
do you
start
want to
with-
start the news and nuggets from around the league?
Around the league, we're going around the league. Well, let me start. Let me start with a quick plug of my own thing. We finally got Matt Scouts. That is, finally got girls high school wrestling rankings up, and we're gonna. I got asked for years and years, why don't you do for the girls what you do for the boys? And I always said that would result. I'm at my bandwidth with the boys. I ain't got no other.
You're past it.
I don't have any other time. I don't have any other time. And the girls deserve what a product for what I do for the boys. They deserve that, especially now that it's so robust. I mean, they always deserved it, but now it's like it is a big industry. But what would have happened if I did boys and girls was you would have got two 85% products, right? Instead of what I did for the boys, which I consider I do very well. So I looked for somebody for years. I tweeted out over the past 5-6 years a dozen times. I need somebody to do it. I'm looking for somebody. We'll pay you handsomely. And everybody I got, I was not convinced that they were in it for the long haul. I don't want somebody that's going to do it once a month and turn in an article on recruiting when they feel like it. I want them to have a job covering girls' high school recruiting, tournaments, rankings, etc. And I finally got the right person. And I mean, it's my sister actually, who's been working with me for a long time now, and she's actually been doing. She's like, I think I finally want to jump into it. And so she's been doing them. I told her I ain't publishing them. I ain't posting your stuff until you prove over time that you're consistent with it. And so she's been doing rankings, and it hasn't been published. We've been looking at them. I've been looking at them. All right. You got the rhythm. You got the rhythm. And I'm here if you need to bounce questions off me. And I'm here for new ideas for what other stuff you can provide and when you can provide it. And she's on it, bro. She's on it. And so now it's finally, we published them. And I'm really proud of it because there always needed to be the other side. There's the boys and there's the girls. And if you can have rankings and commitment lists and tournament previews and tournament recaps and interviews with some of the young girls, the high school girls that are stars, in one place, that's a really great thing for high school wrestling.
It is. And a lot of people are like, I get some of the same stuff, like, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that for the girls? And it's like, you need someone dedicated to just watching that. And it's easier for, it's almost got to be a company where you're hiring people. And it's like, that's why I encourage so many people. Like, if you have a knack for this and you're watching these events and you can cover it, do it. The sport needs more people, especially on the women's side of the sport.
Well, and there's been a couple outlets. There's been a couple outlets to like dip their toes in it, but like, I mean, I ain't here to throw shade because I don't care about shade. I don't care who gets offended. The bottom line is the girls need the coverage that they warrant. And like, I don't know, man. USA Wrestling hasn't even put out girls rankings since women's nationals, since World Team Trials. They haven't put out new rankings. It's not really in their wheelhouse to do rankings. And anyway, so the product's not there. There's a void to fill, and I think we can do that great. So yeah, I'm really pumped about that. You guys are probably bored and don't want to hear about it, but and I get it, but it is to me, it's a big thing. It's a big thing in my life and in my career, and something I'm really proud of it.
You know what I'm really proud of?
Are you really proud of?
I gotta get a shelf. I told the people. I told the fans. If we win, I'm gonna put this somewhere. I gotta.
Dude, you know what's crazy?
Build the shelf.
What's crazy is I got that the other day, right? And I showed it on the show, and I totally assumed that you got yours months ago, and they just decided to send me one.
No,
I didn't know that.
All the winners got them this week.
I didn't know that. I just thought they sent them all out, and then we're like, Willie probably should have got one for his role at Bash, and I thought it was like a bonus.
No, you're you got it with the rest of us.
Okay, are you excited that it appears? And I called it on the last show. It appears Kyle Snyder is going to be able to wrestle.
Yeah, it appears he is. Safe Sport removed his suspension. He pleaded to a lesser charge. He pleaded to disorderly conduct. And this was not USA Wrestling's decision so far. It was Safe Sports. Safe Sport is a separate entity that weighs everything up. And they said, okay, we're taking him off the suspension list. Now, I do think if I was betting on Polymarket, the likelihood of him competing, I'd say the odds are definitely up. I was talking with him a bit yesterday. I didn't ask him if he's competing or not. But he also didn't mention that he's not competing. And, I think USA Wrestling is kind of going to catch flack either way. I think if he competes, they're going to catch some flack. I think if they don't let him compete, they're going to catch some flack. So I don't think there's a clear path for USA Wrestling here. Like, no matter what, they're going to catch some flack. So,
yeah, some people are going to say he should be suspended for X amount of time, and if he's not, he's getting preferential treatment. And other people will say the man was charged with disorderly conduct. There's no reason for him to be suspended. Also, he's by far our best representative. What are we doing? So they're going to catch flack either way. I don't know. Well,
yeah, and I feel like, too, like, on the legal side of it, this is where we need our legal expert, Mr. Don Bashada, to hop in. But it's like, I feel like too, the public will also assume that this is, is this a repeat offense? Is this whatever. And so I feel like the legal side of it and the public perception of what happened are going to be different no matter what. So I would say it's leaning towards him competing more. I don't know what I still wouldn't put it above 80%, but it's looking more likely than it was last week. That's for sure.
Yeah. And again, I don't know how things are going with his businesses and relationships off the mat. But if I was him, I would wrestle. I don't think he's not. To me, he's not going to have anything. Nothing's going to have a sense of normalcy for him until he's wrestling again. And
I don't disagree.
That's not going to happen. If he doesn't wrestle now, things are going to remain abnormal until he wrestles again. So you might as well get over it.
I do think wrestling a month after an arrest versus 6 months is very different. Are the commenters getting you? As soon as you look down and smile, I saw into Willie's sister. I assume her name is Millie, and we'll refer to her as such until I'm informed otherwise. Jason Bryan says clearly Willie's still awake versus just waking up. That is probably a fact as well. Willie's sister is not named Millie. Her name's Krista. So I understand where you're coming from with that perspective on Snyder competing, but you also, like, Rogue and Rudis have both completely taken him off their websites, so you don't know, how that relationship is going. Obviously, his marriage. Like, there's other things in play here that it's obviously not going to be a standard next 3-4 weeks of training leading up to it. So, I don't know how that will factor in. I'm sure with everything going on, he wants to be competing and have that distraction of normalcy. So we'll see. Hopefully we get like an official statement soon.
I want him back on the mat. As soon as possible.
Yeah, I agree. Love to see him back out there. Do you want another little Final X tidbit while we're talking Final X?
Yeah, a little tidbit about Jack and Diane.
Jack and Diane. See, this is what you get on Bash the Brain in your morning drive. USA Wrestling gives Final X competitors 4 tickets for the event. This year, they're saying, hold up, you only get them if you make 3 posts on social media about Final X. That's why I saved it to tell you until we were on the show.
Stop it!
Correct.
Stop it!
Yes.
They're pimping their own athletes.
And it's like, I understand where they're I understand where they're trying.
I don't.
No, listen.
I fucking don't. Fuck you.
Hey, no cussing in the morning show. There's kids going to school. Listen.
Hey, you want 4 tickets? Tweet. Oh, you tweeted once? Tweet 3 times. I'm in the event. I'm in the event.
Listen, let me finish, because I agree with you. I understand where they were trying to come from with wanting athlete engagement. However, the athletes are the only reason there's a show. You can't say, hey, we're going to withhold your 4 tickets unless you post 3 times. And I was talking to somebody about it saying, well, let's figure out the verbiage. And I want to see the language. Is it like...
They're a...
Calm down. There's kids listening on the way to school. I agree with you. I think it's crazy that they're withholding tickets from the athletes that are the only reason anybody's going to this. It's crazy.
Do not say, yeah, but I get it.
No,
do not say it.
I didn't say that. Wake up. I said I understand where they're...
You think Jalen Hurts is playing in the Super Bowl and the NFL is saying, well...
Dum-dum.
We'll give you 4 tickets, but, like, can you promote it a little bit?
Well, 2 things. I understand where they're coming from because you need athlete participation. I think this is the wrong way to go about it. You do have Jalen Hurts. How many different Super Bowl things does he do leading up to the Super Bowl? He doesn't
I'd say no. I would say no. No, I'll pay for the tickets myself, bud. All right.
Well, then they said to purchase additional tickets in the same section is $150.
You want to hear something crazy? You want to hear how utterly insane USA Wrestling is?
Yeah.
After the Tokyo Olympics, so they went to Rio, or they went to Tokyo, right? After the Olympics were over, and they were all back in the United States, USA Wrestling sent the Nittany Wrestling Club a bill for $250 for laundry.
What?
It's a true story.
$250?
Unbelievable for a photo for
Laundry.
for laundry. Listen, wake up. I mean, it's a crooked mess.
Yeah, that's not the way to go about getting athletes to participate. That ain't it. Again, I get where they're coming from, wanting athletes to help promote the event, but that's not the right way to go about it.
Not at all. They don't. You can get. I mean, first of all, if you lose in Final X, you know what you get? You get like $500 a month, right? I mean, the whole thing's amateur hour.
Aaron Bartlett, Rich Bendership to make one post for every dollar he makes. That's a lot of posts.
Well, Rich Bender also gets a bonus based on national team performance. I mean, not national team, world team performance, which is why I was like, I guarantee you Snyder is cleared.
Yeah, you didn't do your breaking news tweet.
I ain't doing it. Should I do it?
No, it's okay. All right, so that's girls' high school rankings update. That's a Kyle Snyder update. That's a Final X tidbit. Do you
pay your laundry bill, Casey?
Do you have any other tidbits before we start looking at World Team Trials? Have you heard anything on the Army position or Kent State position?
No, I didn't hear anything. Well, I mean, Kent State, I heard a long time ago that it was Josh Moore's job. He's going to take it, but I just keep seeing Josh Moore posting about how sad he is to leave Cleveland State, which is understandable. But I thought by this point we'd be like have a transition. Okay, Josh is going to Kent State, but Army, no, still hearing the same things. Scott Green, Troy Nickerson, Nate Engel. Couple other names were floated around out there. Maybe Esposito. I don't know. There's a lot of. Hey, speaking of that situation, the guys, I love Oklahoma State. I love Stillwater. I love the people. It is my favorite freaking place. I love Stillwater. And the people there love me. Like, it's great. It's a great wrestling town.
That was the most Trump thing you've ever said. The people love me. They love me there.
They love me. They love me. The Oklahoma State fans love me. I mean, John Smith and that whole staff, like, I literally always had open door. And the staff now, Zoe especially, and David, talk to David relatively consistently. I love Oklahoma State. I'm not poo-pooing Oklahoma State at all. But some of these new fans are freaking delusional, and it's driving me bonkers. Like,
the tweet's in the show notes, the one that really set you off.
Cowboy Willie. They have said, people, when I was at Flow for a long time, people said Cowboy Willie. I mean, that was a thing for a while. It was Penn State Willie, then it was Cowboy Willie.
Don't forget Husker Willie.
Husker Willies came in the last couple years. But some of their new guys, like I saw Gift Tannen, who is a good, solid college wrestling fan and loves his Cowboys, tweeted something to the effect. Now, Kevin Ward's a great hire. He's a good asset, right? But Kevin Ward, I mean, Giff Tannen tweeted something to the effect of Oklahoma State has produced a master class in how to transition between one legend and the next. Like, bro, master class.
He said it's a case study.
Case study. Here's the part. It's been very good. You got a great thing going. You're taking up almost all the oxygen in the freaking room. I mean, you're doing it great. You're 100%. I don't know if you could do it better. That's true. However, you can't think that is the path for 99% of teams, because this does not happen without a billionaire. It doesn't happen. So yeah, you should be happy, but let's not say this is a case study. Unless every university has a billionaire, it's not a case study. No, it's not a case study. That's my take.
I always love when I get a random text from you when you're at Buffalo Wild Wings enjoying whatever you're enjoying, and you say, put this in the show notes. And that tweet got you. And for those who are missing it.
Well, that's because it was funny, because 3 people in the chat sent that exact or those kind of tweets and were like, Oklahoma State's losing their minds. Oklahoma State fans are delusional. And at the same time, I sent that Giff Tannen one. I said, put this in the show notes.
And the tweet, this is exactly what it read. The transition from John to David, watch Willie get angry all over again. The transition from John to David is a case study in the history of how to move from one legend to the next. Sadly, they don't make statues for ADs who make massive contributions to the sport of wrestling. But if they did, we would already been working on something.
Yeah. I mean, come on. This dude's glazing hard.
It is funny that if I tweet out, so if I make a graphic, Penn State /NLWC puts 7 in Final X, I get comments, glaze. But then I put out a post like, Oklahoma State gets 4 out of the top 6 in the class of 2026. The comments, yeah, that's right. It's like, okay, so you know who's saying it's glazed.
Yeah.
If you're putting praise for 2 programs and one has that, and that's the response, that's not hard to piece together.
Jason Bryant just said in the chat, Monterrey, Mexico has a B-dubs. I went to a music festival in Mexico last year, and in the airport there was a Krispy Kremes in Mexico. I didn't know they had them down there.
Hey, that's a good thing. Good point from Cameron in the chat. Thoughts on recent head coaches leaving head positions to go to programs to be assistant?
Well, I talked about it the other day, didn't I? Or was that a phone call I had with somebody? I don't know. But, Piles and Terrapelli were having a back and forth about guys leaving head jobs to be assistant. It's not about the safety of the sport and the sanctity, like the security of the sport. The Army is going nowhere. Kevin Ward did not leave Army because he's worried about the stability of his program. You will find a common theme among Okie State alumni that they will mop mats to be part of that Stillwater family. That's just the way it is. That's the way it is. They like that town. They like the fraternity. And you will see guys willing to move from a head coach role to an assistant role at Oklahoma State because it's Oklahoma State. And perhaps at Penn State and perhaps at Iowa. But, we haven't seen it. But that could be – they have these tight-knit things. And they have the money to make it happen. When you can go from a head coach's salary one place to an assistant at the other and make the same amount and be where you want to be. And obviously Kevin Ward is familiar and likes the Stillwater community. Now the Tonelli thing, some of those things are, not everyone Not every one of those instances is to Oklahoma State, but Coleman was, Ward was. I guarantee you. I mean, I know this for a fact. If there were a couple other Okie State alums were asked to join David's staff, they would have. I know that. But you find me anywhere else that routinely happens. Zach Tonelli. I don't even want to talk about that. That was a different situation. Stuff you don't know. So it's not a routine thing. It's not a trend.
Hey, I got something for you that maybe will set off a rant. Maybe it's a nothing burger. I got some DMs about USA not sending anybody to this next ranking series. And I said, well, of course not. All of our number 1s and 2s are trying to make a world team 2 weeks later at Final X, and everybody else's world team is pretty much set. We are the latest, I believe we're the last country to set our world team. So everybody else kind of knows. And, like, for us, if you, like, I think Wrestling SNL was DMing me about, like, I'd love to see some of our 2s and 3s and 4s go. It's like, they literally just lost the world team trials. If there is any offseason wrestling, this is it.
It's
like, they're
weird,
not,
isn't it?
They're not going now. So
it's weird. It's weird how the season is structured, and you know, I've been going on overseas trips for a long time, but I don't know the feeling in each country on how they view their process. Like, for us, our trials kind of get started in Vegas, and then there's a challenge tournament, and then there's a Final X, right?
And it's all delayed because of the NCAA season.
That's right. It's all delayed because of NCAAs. Now, you take a guy like after the world team, after the challenge tournament, after the challenge trials, the year is over. The season is over, except for 2 humans at each weight. All right? So, to our guys, the season's about over. Now, they can go and they can wrestle, and it can be an experience. They can get reps in. I wonder how the other nations, like, internalize that. Do they feel the same way? Like, if, like, in Russia, if you don't make the trials finals, if you don't make the team, do you feel like, all right, the year's over for me? Or is it just like, we're just getting started, I'm training so that next year I can make the team? I don't know. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I'm curious too, for sure. It's like, these guys don't want to travel to Mongolia to get reps 2 weeks after not making the team or not making Final X. Right?
Like somebody that got their heart ripped out because they thought they're going to, they're hoping to make Final X. Right? Like maybe like a Brock Hardy or maybe Brock Hardy's. I don't know. You're not going to go to Mongolia to get a couple matches in.
Right.
Which won't count for anything. Will not count for anything. You're not making the team, so you're not getting seeded. But what they might do is hit a tournament in France, might hit a tournament in Spain, might hit Pelicon in Italy. They might do that, but they ain't going to freaking Mongolia.
And sometimes, too, it matters if who's going as far as what other domestic guys are going. Are your training partners going? Are other USA guys going that you want to see? So I think it's bad timing.
I've never been to Mongolia, I don't think. Was I? Uzbekistan was 14.
Jason Bryant, a great point in the chat. It takes like 2 days just to get to Mongolia. So, I mean,
bro, Uzbekistan was eye-opening. That place was. What was the other one? What was the Tashkent? Oh no, So the one was like bad, and like there was the arena didn't have toilets. They had holes in the floor. I swear to God. I'm not kidding. There's like an inch of water on the floor. I mean, it was tiled, but then like over there'd be holes in the floor. Mm-mm. No doors on the stalls? No. So I think that was Tashkent. I think that was Uzbekistan. But then, yeah, that
Jason
was
Bryan
Uzbekistan.
is saying Kazakhstan in 2019.
Kazakhstan in 2019, right? So we go to Uzbekistan. Everybody got sick.
That was
Except,
2014. He mentioned that one too.
yeah, 2014, Uzbekistan. So I don't know. It's like my first time in a stan. It's my first time in that region, right? I'd never gone to Russia. I'd never gone to any of the countries over there. So we go over there, and the food was the worst food ever in the history of Earth. Uh, the facilities were terrible. I swear to God, when you go as part of a thing, when you go as part of a delegation, they provide transportation. I swear to God, a guy picked me up, and the thing of the car was from the, I don't know, 60s. I swear to God, I could see the ground. It was rusted out. When we're driving 60. I see the pavement. I swear to God.
You're in a Fred Flintstone car.
And so, okay, everybody got sick. It was really bad. So a couple years later, we're supposed to go to Worlds in Kazakhstan, and I'm like, another stand. We're going Uzbekistan. This is gonna be bad. This is gonna be bad again. Kazakhstan, gorgeous. Great food, great people, great facilities, easy transportation. I don't know. I loved Kazakhstan. It's great. No, I didn't shit in Kazakhstan and in Uzbekistan. 10 days. 0. Just kidding.
All right, let's talk some junior world team trials.
I was never in Mongolia. That'd be cool, I think, maybe. All right, what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about junior trials? I love junior trials.
I love me some. And listen, we were talking about it before. It's like, I've kind of told the story on here before, but like my fandom in wrestling, like went from just watching NCAAs to working with Kale and Burroughs and Taylor, and started following the senior level, then college. Then as you kind of start, like for me, it was those two things. And then I started realizing how good the juniors were to watch from a senior level standpoint, from a college standpoint. And like this next weekend's the perfect example when you look at the talent there.
Yep, they're the next big things, man. They're the next big things. And it's nice to see that pecking order. And there's also a really nice mix of not older guys, but a guys couple years into college and guys that are on their way to college. Like Anthony Knox. I was talking to him after Vegas, like right during Vegas or right after Vegas, I text his dad. I'm like, God damn, dog. We got into Anthony. And he was like, bro, I never seen him wrestle that good. That's all from training at Cornell. That jump is from training at Cornell. I was like, listen, no disrespect. Your kid has always been good, but that was a different kid. He's like, no disrespect taken. I know.
Yeah, and for those who maybe don't know, U.S. Open winners in juniors sit in the finals of the Junior World Team Trials next weekend. And even if you're like just a college diehard, I mean, those winners, if you look at the schools they either wrestle for or are committed to, it's Cornell, Arizona State, Lehigh, Penn State, Oklahoma State, Penn State, Minnesota, Penn State, Oregon State, Penn State. Like, these are guys that you should know if you're going to follow college the next 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's talk a little bit about and somebody just said in the chat they wish Jaden Rainey was in. I do too, man. I do too. I really want to see more of the Raineys. I don't know. We just don't see them enough. And now they're wrestling Greco. But
one got injured, right? And he's back at Fargo, I think he said. I can't remember which one.
That's Jordan. Anthony Knox sits in the finals at 57 kilograms. We also got Paul Kenny. I'll go through some of the entries here, and I don't know all the credentials. I'm just going to say the credentials off the top of my head. Paul Kenny was a Cadet World Champ a couple years ago. Seamus Regan, 2-time Fargo champ. Kofax Christensen, Revan Dickman, who was Fargo third and has a win this year over Dom Lunaretto. Nathan Desmond, Penn State commit. Davis Motika, Christian Castillo, a Cadet World medalist from a few years ago, and a guy I'm really, really high on. I think, I don't want to get it wrong, but he was at the trials, right? I think Knox beat him. Castillo finished very high in Vegas. Blake Beasel out of Minnesota. Brock Rothermel, who was a Fargo runner-up. Mac Mauger, who won Fargo back-to-back. Ronnie Ramirez. Vinny Kilkeary. Dom Lunaretto, a 2-time world medalist. Hayden Schwab's in. Hayden Schwab's a young buck. He's still a cadet. Antonio Mills, who I believe was the runner-up. Isn't that who Knox beat in Vegas finals?
Correct. Knox teched him 12-2.
So a really good showing there by Mills, though. Titan Fredericks. Henry Islakian, who's probably undersized, but he made the Cadet World team last year. So great field. Great field. I mean, how many guys have – there's a bunch of guys either won Fargo or made world teams or placed at Worlds. And, you know, not a lot of fluff. There's not a lot of fluff at juniors.
No, and what I wanted to do, but I didn't have time, was I put on Rockfin all the entries in the finals, because some of the finals aren't officially entered, like the Penn State kids, but they're in. I wanted to take that, and I might do it today if I have time, and put the college affiliation next to it. Because you have such a wide spread of colleges that these kids are going to, and regardless of what school you root for, there's probably somebody there that you can root for.
Yeah. And Ronnie Ramirez, Stewie Griffith, who's in the chat, who very obviously knows his stuff, said Ronnie Ramirez looked great at the Open. Knox kind of took it to him, but was pretty competitive. Listen, a lot of people raved about Nathan Desmond. I mean, Nathan Desmond is very good, right? He makes finals a lot of places, made finals Super 32. Ronnie Ramirez, I think, beat him the last 3 times they wrestled. I mean, that's how good Ronnie Ramirez is. And I'm not saying that to put down Nathan Desmond. I'm saying that because Ronnie Ramirez, for whatever reason, just doesn't get talked about as much as Nathan Desmond, but he's right there. They're right there. Ronnie Ramirez is going to factor in pretty nicely to the Okie State room. You know, they have a lot of talent there, but he's going to be one of the factors for sure.
Awesome weight. Going to be some great wrestling. And it's a pretty condensed tournament because of the size of a lot of these brackets. So it's next Saturday, June 1st. It starts at 9:30, and then you have best of 3 finals at 4 p.m. So
I tell you what, though. We talked about Uzbekistan. I mean, listen, no disrespect. I mean, Geneva, Ohio might be the Tashkent of the United States. It's rough, bro. It doesn't even make sense either, because most of the town is meth heads. Like, I'm not even kidding. I mean, I'm not saying that to be denigrating. I'm saying that's a statistic.
I'm not poo-pooing on them.
They are meth addicts. But then there's like wineries right next to it. It's bizarre. But I'm going.
I think we're in Florida next weekend, or I would go with you just for the sheer experience.
Stewie Griffin brings up another good point. Nathan Desmond always looked to me like he was a career 25. If Nathan Desmond, and he wrestled 61 at the trials, or in Vegas, if Nathan Desmond is not a 125, Penn State has an issue there. I mean, Ron knows worst place. Oh, you're making a joke. But I don't think Lilladog's holding 25 for a career.
Fred Minnick in the chat. Meth finished Merlot is what Bash is looking for in Ohio.
Oh yeah.
Fred, Geneva, you know the quote, Merlot, don't serve me no Merlot.
Yeah, so good point by Stewie Griffin. Again, two good points for him. Now, this is the first time I'm looking at the entries, And somebody earlier said something about Jaden James. His dad told me he's going to wrestle his walk-around weight in juniors, which is interesting, right? Because he already made the cadet team. Now he's going to the juniors, and he said he's going to wrestle his walk-around weight. And I assume that means 74 or 79, 74 probably. So we'll see when we get there. But it's interesting. The kids that have already made teams or made other things, like PJ Duke, Final X, is he in here?
He's in and he's competing. Yeah.
Okay, so interesting. Kids doubling up. Now, we also have to take into account guys that make Final X and lose. They get the U23 spot, correct?
Correct.
Like Lilladal loses to Spencer. He doesn't get the junior spot. He gets a U23 spot?
Correct. And that's kind of why it's not the U23 World Team Trials this weekend or next weekend along this. It's U20 Junior World Team Trials and U23 Nationals. U23, it's kind of wonky who makes a team. But yes, Final X losers do have the spot if they're age eligible.
So what happens this year? That's weird. So what happens? Like, if you make the finals of U23s this weekend, you might get the spot?
Correct. Well, that's happened the last couple of years.
Oh, yeah, it is.
So it's like
so they have final. No, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's just if.
Correct.
If somebody from Final X, right? Okay, so same thing.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to 61. Kyler Larkin won the U.S. Open. He sits in the finals. He's also a cadet world team member. A couple years ago in Italy, Aaron Lucio, Jackson Blum, Dean Anderson, who placed at a 7th in Vegas. Herring was the runner-up to Larkin, I believe. Ben Davino. And Davino wrestled seniors in Vegas, right?
Yep.
So this will be a little bit. This will be a wrinkle. He didn't see these guys, or these guys didn't see him. Zan Fugit, who was a Cinderella story at the NCAAs, and also made a world team in Greco a few years ago. He's in the mix. Slater Hicks, Aaron Seidel. I don't know. You doing picks? I mean, but Ben Davino is a big wrinkle here. Larkin, Herring made the finals. Dean Anderson was a placer. Charmoli should be in the mix. Fugit should be in the mix. Davino in the mix for sure. And Seidel. Not a really deep field, but also really a lot of fluff.
Yeah, and, again, I keep looking at it. I'm not really making picks. I think a lot of the open winners are probably decently sized favorites, but I think there's a lot of strong competitors. And, again, even if college wrestling fans are just tuning in to see, quote-unquote, their guys, I mean, you would know better than I. Can you do a rundown? I mean, some of these guys are already, in college. Like, Zan Fugit, wrestling for Wisconsin, had an awesome NCAAs. Like, these guys, there's a lot of college excitement around this. Sam Herring committed to Penn State. Do a rundown.
So Larkin was a gray shirt at Arizona State. Blum is an incoming freshman to Indiana. Michigan kid. Was ranked about 10th at his weight class. Dean Anderson is only a high school sophomore, going to be a junior. He was 7th at the Open, so you still got 2 more years of high school. Sam Herring is a high school junior, has 1 more year, committed to Penn State, was runner-up at the Open. Tyson Charmoli has spent a year. He's originally from Minnesota, spent a year at Wyoming, just transferred to Oklahoma. Ben Davino was a redshirt this year at Ohio State. Zan Fugit is in his 2nd year. He redshirted, and then this year he was a redshirt freshman, AA'd. Tyler Ferrara is at Cornell. Slater Hicks is going to be a junior or going to be a senior in high school in California, Valencia, California. Used to be with Ruben Valencia at it's interesting. He used to be with Ruben Valencia at St. John Bosco, and now he goes to a high school called Valencia. Aaron Seidel, one of the top prospects this year from PA, 4-time state finalist, going to Virginia Tech next year. So Yeah, it's a mix.
It's extremely fun weight. Extremely fun weight to watch.
Yep. Let's check the chat, see if there's any questions. Dylan Norris, is Willie going to be at the duels this weekend? I'm not. I'm going to go to Geneva next weekend. I'd like to be down there, but didn't sort of yeah, no, not going. Marger versus Knox. Is Marger the only college kid in that way? Jaden James. What happened to OU big guy a couple years ago? What OU big guy? I'm not sure what OU big guy you're talking about. Let's go to 65, where we could see a rematch of Luke Stanich and Bo Bassett. You got Luke Stanich sitting in the finals. Nate Askew, who was a surprise cadet world team member last year at 65 kilograms. He then he skipped his senior year of high school, trained, didn't wrestle in high school, trained in North Carolina, going to UNC next year. Bo Bassett, of course, a couple-time world teamer, wrestled at the Open, I think was third at the Open. Also wrestled at the Challenge Tournament in senior level, lost to Marcus Blaze, beat Bo Bartlett, and lost to Brock Hardy. Noah Nininger, very sneaky. This kid's really good. Noah Nininger, Virginia boy going to Tech. Alex Braun was like a top 3 guy coming out of high school last year. Now at Oklahoma, Ryan Kennedy from right there, Spire, where the tournament is happening. Carter Freeman, Northern Iowa guy. Sergio Vega, 65. Yep. Oh, this weight's fire. This weight's fire. Vega's in. Aiden Valencia, who can beat anybody at any time, is in. Pearson Manville, runner-up at Vegas, in. Runner-up to Stanich. Daniel Zepeda, who's had some wars with Bo Bassett. Just watched his 10-7 overtime loss in Super 32s. I just watched that the other day. Bassett beating Zepeda. And Billy DeCraker's in there. Billy DeCraker took a post-grad year this year at Blair Academy. So really, really great weight here as well. And Bassett, to make that junior team, to get revenge over Luke Stanich, has to go through a pretty nice field. Nice field to get there. Including, maybe Vega. I love the seating possibilities here. I mean, if you go on placement, so you take Stanich and you put him in the finals, and you just put him out. He's not in the bracket.
That Bassett Sergio Vega match last year at the Open was like a 14-12 match. Bassett won.
Oh, thriller. So I watched that recently too again. But if you go by placement, I guess Pearson Manville would be the top seed and Bassett would be the 2. And then who's the 3? I don't know, because do they go placement again, or like Sergio Vega didn't go to the Open this year? So seeding is going to be really fun. I mean, there's a chance that somebody, whoever it is, has to go through like 3 of these guys. Like, there's a chance you're going to have to beat Zepeda, Manville, Valencia, Vega, Bo Bassett, Nininger. It's going to be a good weight just to get to Stanich.
It's going to be a fun one next Saturday. Set your clock, set your reminders, set the dial.
Taylor Venus says, Willie, do you think JoJo Jurachuk will flip from Army to OSU and be a 125 for a life? That is the funniest sentence I've ever heard. A, do you think that Kevin Ward leaving will make Joe Jurachuk also leave? B, Do you think he will go to Oklahoma State? C, do you think he will defy all human growth patterns and be a 125 pounder for life? No. I don't think any of those things, actually.
So the answer is just no. That's a long way about just saying no.
No.
Just respond to a
and
three-part
to
question
all
with
the
no.
Jake Woodley. You guys are asking about Jake Woodley? Why
No.
are you guys asking?
They're talking about previous Final X, and Jake Woodley made the U23 team, and then Bo Nickel took the spot for losing to Jaden at Final X.
Remember when the Penn State? No, it was the Oklahoma State fans lost their ever-loving mind and just said they just went full against common sense and said, we don't care. We are sticking up for our guys and saying Dustin Plott should be on the team, even though, like, clearly the Penn State guy should have been. I forget who it was at the time. Do you remember when that happened? Starachi.
No, I don't remember it.
Dustin Plott won U23s. No, Dustin Plott won U23s, and somebody from Penn State like made Final X or made top 3, and they elected to take the U23 spot, and the Oklahoma State fans went bonkers.
I remember Plott winning. I remember Plott winning U23s 2 years ago. I don't remember. I'm drawing a blank on who it was that.
Yeah, it was funny. All right, 70 kilograms is led by PJ Duke, who sits in the finals. Also a Final X participant. Melvin Miller in the building. He was only loss in Vegas was a close one to PJ Duke. Cross Wisniewski, NCAA qualifier this year for Penn. Landon Robideau. Oh, I love this.
This is why I didn't. All you fans listening, this is why I saved this for the show. I didn't give this to Willie beforehand, so the reaction was live on the pod.
Bro, this weight is bonkers.
Yeah.
I'm just going to read names. Melvin Miller, top 5 guy. Landon Robideau, top 5 guy. Cody Routledge, top 5 guy. Vince Buzak is a top 5 guy. Jackson Joy, who is going to do really big things at Cornell, you watch. Jaden James. Cadet. Oh, no, that's 74. Okay, so.
Slow down.
I got a little ahead of myself. This is fire, bro.
Yep.
This is nice. Vince Buzakis, I'm telling you, he's damn good. I mean, he has a wonky ledger. But, hell, 12 months ago, I guess 13 months ago, he had D. Lockett beat in Vegas. I mean, that's how good Vince Buzakis is. So, who gets to PJ Duke? Melvin Miller, Robideau, Routledge, Buzakis, Jackson Joy?
Duke is also a dog. To sit in these best-of-3 finals to try to make a junior world team 2 weeks ahead of wrestling Yanni in a best-of-3 series at Final X. I mean...
Yeah.
I
can't believe that.
I believe Duke's the only Final X participant here. Yeah.
Man. You know, it's funny. Like, you want to say Duke next topic because the kid's a winner and the kid gets to legs and he makes it happen. And I planted my flag in the ground. And I said, people are telling me, you're an idiot, Willie. Marcus Blaze is the better prospect. He should be one. He's a better prospect than Duke. And I planted my flag in the ground. I said, listen, if you want to have Marcus Blaze number 1 on your board, fine. But I'm going with PJ Duke, right? So know that I love PJ Duke. And what he's done is amazing. And I ain't surprised. However, in that same vein, you can't just look at who got their hand raised. You have to also look at how they got their hand raised. And PJ Duke, with all his success, and he's been on fire. He makes a freaking Final X as a high schooler. He beats 2 national champs last week. He beat 2 or 3.
2.
But listen his recency. Melvin Miller, he won on an exchange that was highly dubious. Okay? He goes to Final X. He beats Antrell Taylor, had him dead to rights. He wins that in the last 10 seconds. Then he wrestles Lockett, who they ruled the takedown and then overturned. I mean, PJ has not been destroyer of world. He's not been destroying people, right? He's been winning within the margins. So, well, I'm going to take PJ here. I mean, it's he earned the spot to only have to face one guy. But while he's been great, it's been close.
Yeah.
Stewie Griffin, do we worry about the frequency that PJ has been making 70 kg at all? Do you mean weight-wise? I think it's good for him. The frequency of making weight. I mean, listen, this is a guy who went his whole senior year wrestling 65 and 75. Right? He has not been cutting. He has not been, I mean, for 10 months, he didn't, well, 8 months. For 8 months, he didn't miss a meal. He didn't cut a pound. So I think it's probably good for him. I mean, I think it's probably healthy.
Yeah.
Okay. 74. D. Lockett sits in the finals. Jaden James is in the Field of Cadet World Team member this year. Joel Adams, a former Greco Cadet World Champ. Ben Weeder, a freshman to be at Virginia Tech. Will Denny, who beat Melvin Miller last year en route to a Super 32 title. Laird Root. Charlie Millard, a kid I'm really high on. I think he was 2nd or 3rd at Fargo last year and had a big win. He beat Chittum. He beat Chittum this season.
I think he did.
Ishmael Guerrero. Alessio Parrington. I love Alessio Parrington. And I love Del Barton.
He beat Chittum 9-4.
Yeah, Charlie Millard gonna make some noise this year. Alessio Parrington's in here. Zach Hansen's in here. Danny Heiser. So, Ladarian Lockett sits. You got Jaden James, Ben Weeder, Will Denny, Charlie Millard, Ish Guerrero, Alessio Parrington, Zach Hansen. A solid weight with 1, 2, 3. 3 guys who have made a world team. 2-time Fargo champ Zach Hansen. Charlie Millard, who beat Cody Chittum. Will Denny, who beat Melvin Miller to win Super 32. Good field. 79, Will Henckel sits in the finals. This is his 3rd crack, I believe, at U20 team. Not last year, but 2 years ago, he had that. He beat Joe Seeley. He beat somebody else. He was real close to making the team. Headed to Penn State, 79 kilograms. What's 79? 170. What is 79 kg?
174 pounds.
176, 174. Interesting. Hey, did you see that Teague Sanderson won the PA cadet state title in freestyle?
He's good.
That's as an incoming 8th grader? I mean, an incoming freshman? Is that what he is? An incoming freshman? Anyway, he's young, and that's legit.
Yep.
Will Henckel, part of that logjam at Penn State. A lot of talent in that weight range. Colin Kerrigan, Emmett Sherlock. Emmett Sherlock double cadet world teamer last year? He definitely made the freestyle team. Lucas Condon. Man, Lucas Condon still a junior, still a U20.
Emmett did double up.
He did double up, yeah.
Yeah.
Louis Sergio from Cornell. Josiah Queen from Drexel. Brock Mantanona, former world teamer. Really nice bracket. I'll go Mantanona Henckel there, but Sherlock. I'm a little higher on Sherlock and Folk. That dude can ride. And he's young for this, right? He was a cadet last year. He's a cadet. He's going to be a freshman in college. Luke Condon's going into his third year in college. It's a tough assignment for him. Small field at 79.
Yeah, the brackets get a little bit smaller as the weight goes up, which makes sense for a junior tournament.
Yep. Let's check the chat, see if there's any questions. Need that Robidoux Miller match? Yes, we do. Let's have it. Jaden James Alessio would be awesome. Teammates. Do we have any word on Brockman's elbow? We heard it at the Open. Seemed to really bother him. I don't know. 86, Max McEnelly sitting in the finals after a wild, controversial bout in the finals of Vegas with Aiden Sinclair, who is also in the field and who has also been wrestling a ton.
It's also, he's been wrestling up and he's back down to 86.
Yeah. Which...
Did he wrestle 86 at Junior Open? And wrestle 92? Maybe I'm just thinking 92 was just seniors.
No, he wrestled two different weights.
No, I know he did 92 seniors, but did he do 86 juniors at the Open?
Yeah, he lost to McEnelly in the finals.
Yeah, that's right.
Which still has me a little buffaloed, you know.
Buffalo Hard Knocks.
Like a couple years ago, not a couple years ago, last year, I don't know, around this time, I guess it was more like July, August. I said, I just text Ben Askren, his club coach, and I said, Ben, what do you think? Aiden, 84 or 97 in college. He said 84 for sure. Now, a year has gone by, that may or not have changed, but going 86-92, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised either way what weight he would go. But McEnelly, Sinclair, the two headliners there. Anders Thompson out of Oklahoma, a Montana boy originally. Jake Daly, who came on late in his career at Wyoming Seminary, now at North Carolina. Carson Thomas, kid I love, did a gray shirt this year, or an OTC year, actually. Nick Fox, who's at UNI. And that's your field. That is your field. Probably. I mean, odds are you'll see McEnelly, Sinclair again.
Yeah, that's what I think.
92, Connor Marisola sits in the finals. In a weight class that has 4 entries.
Told you, it gets smaller as you go up.
Wow.
So it's just 2 semifinals.
No. I mean, Connor Marisola sits.
Oh, that's right.
If nobody else enters, one guy has a bye to the challenge finals.
That's right.
Oh my God. And two of the entries are Bechtold and Hogan, 2 PA boys who wrestled 100,000 times. That's interesting. Bechtold at Bucknell and Hogan at Lockhaven. And then your other entry is Cody Merrill, who I wish I remembered what he did at the Open, but I don't. My brain is failing me right now. Sorry about that.
Who? What Cody Merrill did?
Yeah, what
He
tell
lost.
me.
He. I don't remember the whole tournament, but he lost in the finals to Connor 5-1.
Okay. Well, then there you go. It's going to be Hogan and Bechtold for the right to wrestle Merrill, and the winner gets Marisola in the best of 3. Who is in Final X at 92? Barr?
Barr and Hidley.
Oh my God! So riddle me this.
Riddle
Oh no,
me.
this is U20s. This is U20s, right? So if Barr loses, he gets a U23 spot.
Yep.
But this is U20s. Okay, so
Yep.
winner here is definitely.
Yeah. So the difference there, Willie, is these kids are under 20, and then the U23 team, the kids are under 23.
No, I know, but I was thinking Connor could win this and then still not make the team because of Josh. But I was thinking U23s.
Yeah.
97 kg Rademacher's up at 97. Cade Ziola, who had a pretty good, he placed at Vegas, had a decent enough match with Rademacher. He's a incoming freshman at Nebraska. Soren Herzog, Air Force kid at 97 as well. Anthony Harris, incoming freshman for Oklahoma, New Jersey champ, Super 32 champ. Fargo runner-up last year. Garrett Kolzinski heading to another Askren kid heading to that's interesting. 97 kilograms for him. He's heading to Army. Cam McDaniel, who made a world team a couple years ago, lost in the finals last year to Rademacher, I think.
They lost in the final. He lost in the finals at the Open. It was 8-7 Rademacher.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, like, McDaniel made a junior team, lost in the junior finals the next year, lost to Rademacher in the junior Open finals this year to Rademacher. They could hit again.
I think both 92 and 97 are both likely, smaller fields, and I think they're both U.S. Open final rematches because you have Connor and Cody likely to wrestle again, now in a best of 3 at 92, and then Rademacher and McDaniel could very well be another rematch best of 3 there.
So you got Rademacher sitting in the finals, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 entries. Ziola, Herzog, Harris, Kolzinski, McDaniel. In the finals at heavyweight, which we're back to, like, really interesting stuff.
Yep.
86 and 92 or 86, 92, 97, a little light. 125, Cole Marisola sits in the finals. Traven Boger, who's still in high school, still has another year of high school, committed to Northwestern recently. Rocco Delegata, who won Fargo last year. Yeah, won Fargo last year. Drayshawn Ross, junior world teamer. Kobe Merrill, who Ross edged in Vegas semis. Michael Mako, who Marisola had a really weird match with. It was like push out, Marisola. Take down Mako. Push out, Marisola. Marisola won something like 10-4, and Mako had all the takedowns. But he couldn't hold center. With him. Dean Bechtold, who beat Mako. So there's an interesting thing. Mako beat Bechtold in the best of 3 finals at the Cadet World Team Trials in 2024. They wrestled about 6 months later in the finals of Super 32, and Bechtold won that. Bechtold going to Lehigh, Mako going to Iowa. Max Venadia of Michigan. Coy Hopke, a former world champion at the cadet level. Grant Stromberg, who redshirted this year at UNI. Ricky Thomas out of Oklahoma, former Edmond North wrestler. Really great weight. You got Marisola won Fargo. Delegata won Fargo. Drayshawn Ross made a team. Kobe Merrill is very good. Michael Mako won a cadet world title. Dean Bechtold won a
weight.
Coy Hopke won a cadet world title. This weight is loaded.
You know how I said that the U.S. Open kind of lacked that heavyweight star power got used to. I feel like we're right back to it now. Like right now we're right back into like here's the star power.
We got a lot of dudes, right? We got a lot of dudes coming through. We lost some stars. Gable is doing Gable things, and Mason Paris is not wrestling this year, but we got Wyatt, and then not a lot of depth, but here come these youngsters.
Yeah. So it'll be fun. The best of 3 finals are Saturday, June 1st at 4 p.m. Eastern.
Yep. And let's just read it real quick. You put them in the notes. The finals of Vegas were thus. Knox beat Mills in the finals. Larkin beat Herring in the finals. So Knox and Larkin both sit. Stanich sits. He beat both Bo Bassett and Pearson Manville then in the finals. PJ Duke edged Melvin Miller in the finals. He sits. Ladarian Lockett beat Seeley, who's not entered yet.
Yeah, Indy Line Wrestling Club hasn't entered their guys. So even like Connor and Cole, I'm putting those in the spreadsheet because they're sitting in the finals, and I'm sure they're going to be there.
Yeah.
But Joe Seeley could also enter at 74.
Yeah. McEnelly over Sinclair was close. Marisola over Merrill, 5-1. Rademacher beat McDaniel, 8-7. Marisola beat Drayshawn, 7-5. And also had a really interesting match with Mako. So,
and I broke my own rule here. I do not schedule flights during wrestling events. And I have a flight from 3:30 to 6, literally during the finals. So I'm going to need to make sure it's a flight with Starlink so that I can stream the finals, no problem. Because in an ideal world, if I can hop on a flight and watch the best of 3 finals for 2 hours and I land, that's the perfect scenario. That's a great flight.
Please tell me that you fly Delta.
I fly whoever flies direct to where I'm going. So, like, if I go here to Tampa, Southwest is the only one that goes direct, so I fly them. So, it depends on where I'm going and who I fly.
I almost 99% fly Delta. 99% of the time.
Jason Bryan. Oh, Willie Sailor's in the chat, all hopped up on due.
Dude, one time at Fargo, I don't know why, but Pearson Manville was like volunteering. He's like 10, right? I don't know, probably 10 years old. And, I had known the Manville family for years. And he's volunteering. And at one point, he's the towel tapper for Mat 1. And I'm sitting at Mat 1. Flo gets a big, long table. And I'm parked there all week. And at one point, Pearson Manville's a towel tapper on Mat 1. So he'll go up and he'll tap the ref, and then he'll come back and he'll sit next to me. And just sit there and watch the match, and we're like hanging out and stuff. And like at some point, he's like, "Hey, can I have $5?" And I'm like, yeah. For what do you want? And for what? He's like, I want to get a soda. I'm like, yeah, okay. Here's $5. And so like, I noticed that he gets a Mountain Dew, and he's just wired. And he's freaking running, whipping around and stuff. And so like another time, I said, he asked for money again. And I'm like, I will only give you money if you get another Mountain Dew and drink it. And he's like, okay. And he gets it. And dude, he was so wired. He's whipping around the arena. He's like, every time it's time to tap the thing, the referee, he runs up there. He's like whipping around the mat. And it was hilarious.
He's a dog. He loves to scrap.
He is a dog.
You gave that kid Mountain Dew for the first time in his life, Jason.
That was pretty funny.
Oh, man. All right, Willie. Anything else you got?
No, I'm going to be locked in. The fact that I'm going to be watching NHSCA duels this weekend. If you ever been to NHSCA duels, like if you haven't been, you don't get it. It's impossible to get. But if you have been, it's really cool. These kids, and it doesn't matter if they're real clubs or just mercenary teams that all came together to have a good time in Virginia Beach and try to win a team title. Especially the final 2 days, the last few rounds, it is wild. These kids are all cheering for each other. Everybody's hype. Every match ends up being ranked versus ranked. Now, in the beginning, all these teams are going to win 64-0. Last 3 rounds, it gets intense, dicey. Coaches are yelling at each other. The wrestlers are getting hype. There's crowds around the mats. And for me, there's ranking implications everywhere, so I'll be changing rankings around. But as I said at the top of the show, Krista has really committed to doing the girls' rankings, and she's come out with iteration and iteration. We kept them private because I don't want to publish them until I'm sure that she's committed to it and she gets the right product out. So we sit together often, and we work through the rankings, and I'm starting to get to know the girls' bios pretty good, and I'm starting to get to know who's ranked and stuff. There are a couple teams in the girls' division that are awesome, and now that I'm helping Krista, like, knowing the names, I'm pretty excited to see that. I mean, there's one team that's like all the world team. It's pretty freaking cool.
Like a mercenary team, or it's more like...
No, it's a mercenary team. It's a mercenary team, but they're all like, it's like...
God bless them.
It's like most of the cadet world team for the girls.
And do you remember the team name?
I got it here somewhere, bud.
Maybe we'll get a graphic out. I did like that. I'm always looking through your content, even if I don't consume it, just to share it, like seeds and stuff. And I did love that somebody asked you for the NHSCA dual seeds, what criteria you use.
All right, so the name of the girls' team is Shekong. It's like SHE Kong.
Yeah.
And let me tell you who's on that team. Haley Delgado, who made the world team last year. Justice Gutierrez, who won Fargo. Nikayla Dawson, who's ranked. Anna Burma, I'm not exactly sure. Kaylee Graber, who's number 1 in the country at her weight. Tana Fernandez, who is now the number 1 pound-for-pound girl in the country. Landry Van Gotten, who is ranked 2 at her weight. Margaret Burma, who I think won Fargo and is a graduating senior. Kaylee Manuel, who is ranked 1 at her weight. Millie Aislinn, who won Fargo. It's like...
Team stacked.
It's stacked.
It's not Shekong, it's Team USA.
Yeah, it's amazing.
They just needed a backup name.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right. Bashing the brain.
Tyler Buck, we love you, buddy. Bashing the brain, goes Bills. Hey,
I've got another show coming tonight. Penn State fans will be very happy.
I know, and Levi's one of my favorites of all time, and I can't wait to see it. So Bash is going to have Levi on. Are you guys going to be put out tonight? Is that show going to be distributed tonight?
It should be a primetime special. Yeah, it should be out tonight.
Primetime special. Hey, so answer me this. Did the NFL ban the tush push?
No.
They voted on it and they didn't ban it, or they didn't vote on it yet?
No, they voted it. It will be. It's not banned.
Gotcha.
R.I.P. Jim Irsay.
Yes.
That's kind of crazy. I don't recall the last time an NFL owner died like at such a young age. I mean, these people...
Dude, it said 65. I read that headline this morning. Jim Irsay dies at 65 years old, and I'm like...
66.
I'm like... he looked 65 for the last 30 years. I mean...
I believe he had like drug issues for a while. So that
for real?
might have... I believe so, yeah. I've read some stories on him. I believe that was one of them. So that if that's the case, then that was definitely that'll definitely age you quick. But I've heard everybody, like from Pat McAfee to Part of My Take guys, you name it, everybody says like he was so nice, so generous.
Yeah, he seemed like a
Um,
good dude.
so yeah,
Yeah,
he was the youngest owner in NFL history, I believe.
interesting.
Bills Hard Knocks, August 5th. Bills on Hard Knocks.
Isn't Hard Knocks like the Madden cover? Isn't that a jinx or no?
I don't think so.
Go Bills.
If it is, give them to the Chiefs. See you, Chiefsaholic. All right, like and subscribe. That's the show. Go Bills.